My name is Jules. I write stuff for a living, and today I wanted to talk about something that I've started doing to make my writing sound more human and less AI generated. This isn't something that I've started doing intentionally. I've just noticed it in myself over the last couple months. When I spend all of my time on the internet, I see AI generated writing all the time. And whenever I read AI generated or AI assisted writing, I kind of feel like I'm bathing in TV static. It makes me deeply, innately uncomfortable. There's something wrong with it. So something that I've started doing unintentionally, subconsciously, something that I've noticed myself doing is using writing techniques to distance myself as much as possible from the kind of formulas that AI uses when it generates written works. I'm not the first person to talk about this. It's kind of everywhere. AI writing has a very distinct tone. There's a really good piece by Sam Kriss at the New York Times that explores why it has that tone. AI is trained on good human writing. And in good writing, humans use sentence structures and rhetorical techniques and word choices to make some sentences impactful. There's kind of a variety of what sentences do in good human writing, but some of the sentences that humans write are very good. You know, they pack a punch, they're important, they feel big and lofty and important. See how good I am at writing. So some of those sentences in human writing use specific rhetorical techniques to be impactful, and impactful is good. AI says, I need to be good at writing. These impactful sentences are good. Therefore, every sentence must be impactful. And so what you get is a series of formulas that AI repeats over and over and over that are things that humans use in human writing to make some sentences more impactful than others, but AI uses them in every single sentence because every sentence must be impactful. There are many examples of this. One of the most famous ones, it's not X, it's Y. I can't even bring myself to write that anymore. I will never use it again. It's just so prolific. The M dash is another one. I used to be a huge M dash fan. Now I've started using the semicolon because AI hasn't picked up on that one yet. I don't know. But the thing I want to talk about specifically today is something that I just used. The rule of threes. This is a quote from Sam Kriss's piece in the New York Times. AI is also extremely fixated on the rule of threes. Human writers have known for a long time that things sound more satisfying when you say them in triplets, but AIs have seized on it with a real mania. And if you'll notice, I actually did just use the rule of threes unintentionally. I'm not reading from a script or anything, but I gave you the rule of threes with it's not X, it's Y, M dash into semicolon, and now the rule of threes. So, rule of threesception, if you will. God, that's so bad. The rule of threes has been around for pretty much ever. I studied classics in college and also previously in high school. Julius Caesar's, I came, I saw, I conquered. Oh my God, 3 things, that's crazy. You can look at a lot more modern media to see this in action as well. For example, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh my God, 3 things, that's crazy. Why do we like the rule of 3 so much? I have a theory that I don't think is substantiated anywhere. I haven't done any research on it, but it's something that I entertain because of something that I grew up learning from my mom. My mom went to math high school, like math specialized high school, which is a thing in some European countries. My mom is from Bulgaria. And something that I grew up hearing as someone whose mom went to math high school is the strongest shape in nature is a triangle. Triangles are widely considered to be one of the most, if not the most, stable geometric shape because of reasons. This is from Reddit 14 years ago, r/AskScience. Why is the triangle the strongest shape? Triangles are the strongest when you are considering outlines of shapes, and this is because each vertex is connected to one another. Anyway, triangles are a very strong shape. And so I have this theory that because triangles are stable, I don't know, maybe we like things in threes because threes are stable? You know, like there aren't too many points to consume at once. Everything is connected to other elements of the sentence that you're saying, like each vertex is connected the way that in a triangle, each vertex is connected. If you look at a square, like these 2 vertices aren't connected to one another directly. There's no line here, right, in a natural square. Anyway, so my theory is we like things in threes because threes are stable in nature, geometrically, mathematically. Linguistics is often based on mathematics and logic, those same kind of principles, so maybe there's something there. I don't know. AI wants to have reliably good writing. And if we think that things in threes are stable, like triangles, then AI is going to use that thing in threes to be stable, like a triangle. And so AI writing is very stable. It's too stable, right? It's predictable. It's rehashing all of the stuff that it's taken in from other human writers and conforming it and making it predictable and pattern-based, generating what the next most likely word is, right? And so that's how you end up with a stable, formulaic rule of threes in AI generated writing. All of which is to say, something that I've started doing, that I've noticed myself starting to do, is to destabilize things that come in threes, just so that they're recognizable enough as something that we humans like, a rule of three, but it's not standard. There's something about it that's a little bit off. AI is not going to do something a little bit off. And so that's how I've started differentiating myself. Specifically, the English structure for the rule of threes is X, Y, and Z, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've started doing X and Y and Z, or X, Y, and Z, and W. There's something slightly unexpected about those structures. They're similar enough to X, Y, and Z to be recognizable, but they're not X, Y, and Z. There's a different element. There's another and stuck between X and Y. There's an additional addendum at the very end that kind of surprises you because you think that the phrase is over and then it continues just a little bit more. Here's what that looks like in context. This is an example from a first draft, be nice, of a personal essay I wrote about a month ago about the first time my dad and I went hiking together. Like, I haven't polished this at all. This is just how I wrote it the first time that it came out. When I write a first draft, I kind of like to just blah all over the page, and then it's a lot easier to edit something if you have something there. So I haven't edited this yet, so be nice. We walked out of the parking lot, crossing the flat wooden bridge over the river, and started the trek into the forest. As soon as we made the turn onto the trail, I completely forgot that we had just been in a parking lot. The river was softly murmuring to our right. The air was dappled and green and warm. My dad walked slowly, authoritatively, down the trail. I could hear myself breathing. So there are two things in there that I want to point out. The first one is the sentence, the air was dappled and green and warm. I'm doing X and Y and Z in that sentence. It catches you off a little bit because if I say the air was dappled and green, you're expecting me to stop. Boom, and warm. Suck it, you weren't ready. The other thing that I'm doing is kind of the opposite, which is you're expecting me to say, my dad walked slowly and authoritatively down the trail. Or, my dad walked slowly, authoritatively, and third adverb down the trail, right? But I'm not doing that. And so you're kind of left with a hesitation of sorts. AI-generated writing is designed to never catch you off guard because it wants to be as widely applicable as possible based on pattern recognition. And if something is a structure that most writers use in a given scenario, AI is going to use that structure. It always takes the most common, the safest structure, because that's how pattern recognition works. When I do something like the air was dappled and green and warm, or my dad walked slowly, authoritatively down the trail, there's a little bit of destabilization of the triangle, right? There's a little bit of destabilization of the rule of threes that you're expecting. And that's what makes my writing sound less like an AI could have written it. None of this is to say I'm the world's greatest writer or that I know anything. I don't know anything. This is just something that I've picked up as I'm forcing myself to write more and more and more this year because I want to make writing an actual career. So yeah, that's how to write good. Bye.